What is essential is invisible to the eye, the family in times of COVID-19. The candid debates in some countries regarding to the measures of compulsory confinement made evident the need to reflect about moral agency in contemporary societies. To what extent the fact that confinement must be compulsive is not a consequence of having undermined the foundations of freedom and social responsibility by denying the citizen that role of moral agent? Has that same utilitarian perspective of society dragged us to this stage in which we have no choice but to force people to stay at home because we can't trust their judgment? When it comes to defending laws against price speculation, or explaining why we should stay at home, or even more, when defending why we have a duty to reduce the risk for the life and health of elders in the context of a pandemic, utilitarian and individualistic arguments do not seem strong enough. The same thing happens when we think of families and their irreplaceable role during a crisis such as the one we are going through. To agree on a certain criteria to define rights or calculate profits, or a specific catalogue of rights and obligations based on the authority of a certain author or theory or legal instrument, is not enough. We need to base rights and obligations on the dignity of human person whose ultimate aspiration to happiness cannot be achieved at the expense of others. It cannot be achieved if it is not in community. As Chris McCandless, the young man whose life is brilliantly portrayed in the film Into the Wild, concludes, while dying alone at the end of his journey in Alaska after leaving his family and friends, happiness is only real when shared. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the importance of family. We remember now that the rights of the person have a fundamental social dimension which finds an innate expression in the family. We also remember that the family exists prior to the state or any other community. On the occasion of the celebration of the International Day of Families on May the 15th, a webinar was held organized by the Department of Economic and Social Affairs of the UN General Secretariat. This celebration was established by a decision of the United Nations in 1993 and is celebrated every year since 1994, a year that had previously been proclaimed as the International Year of the Family. The subject of the family and family policies within the UN agenda are gaining greater attention year after year since then. Family constitutes much more than a mere juridical, social, or economic unit. It is a community of love and solidarity, and it is the best place to teach cultural, ethical, social, and spiritual values which are essential for the development and well-being of each of the members of our societies. Ignacio Socias, the Director of International Relations at the International Federation for Family Development, and one of the coordinators of the report Families, Family Policy and the Sustainable Development Goals, where they show the importance of family policies to achieve the SDGs, a report that was released on the occasion of the Family Day celebration this year. After presenting the report, which I highly recommend reading, Socias paraphrased Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, arguing that this time is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make the invisible visible and to recognize some things that, as a society, we were not focusing in. The primary right of parents to educate their children must be upheld in collaborations with teachers, school, and educational policies. Indeed, as Socias remarked, during the confinement, parents have had to act both as parents, teachers, mentors, solving how to face the isolation, how to maintain mental stability, how to do a good use of time and new technologies, and also how to prevent conflict and violence. Specifically on the issue of parental co-responsibility, Socias mentioned Indicator 5.4 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which aims to recognize and value unpaid care and domestic work through the provision of public services, infrastructure, and social protection policies. Indeed, confinement has shown us that we must look carefully at how we distribute domestic work, as most of it is usually taken to be a woman's responsibility, In this matter, there is a stake not only for each man at home, but also for employers and for the state and the law. As Eileen Reuter pointed out recently in an article at the Public Discourse, if we are concerned about co-responsibility in domestic work, about the woman's need for quality and affordable care for her family, about women's chances to pursue their professional goals, we should also be concerned about how technology can help both men and women to spend more time with their children at home. The state has a direct role in the care for intrinsic goods such as life and family, but there must be a deep respect for the proper authority of intermediate initiatives so that intervention does not cause harm rather than good. In Argentina, we have the case of the municipality of San Miguel, which is an exemplar approach of governmental intervention in helping coordinate actions towards the proper ends and flourishing of the members of the community, as well as towards supporting the proper means deployed by them subsidiarily, accompanying families during the first 1,000 days of their babies and therefore guaranteeing a healthy development of the whole family. Dominic Richardson, researcher at the UNICEF Innocenti Research Center based in Florence, and also one of the co-authors of the aforementioned report Families, Family Policy and the SDGs, warns us about the risk that, due to the context of economic contraction that most countries are facing, governments may renounce their commitments with family policies. Family policies are needed in this upcoming post-COVID-19 scenario more than ever. In conclusion, if we learned well the lesson of this period of confinement, if we will not allow this time to pass in vain, we can take advantage of this stage to remember that the essential is invisible to the eye, and to learn how to make it visible in terms of public policies that value and recognize the family as the cornerstone of society. Thank you very much.